Hey guys, Counterspell Hater here, back with another EDH guide. Today we're going a bit further back with the Dragon for 4 generic and Woober, so that's white, blue, black, red, and green. It is a legendary dragon avatar, Eminence. As long as the Dragon is in the command zone or on the battlefield, other dragon spells you cast cost 1 generic less to cast, 10/10 flying, and whenever one or more dragons you control attack, draw that many cards, and then you may put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield. So what we're going to be doing is obviously attacking with dragons, probably putting more onto the field, if not other very powerful permanents. And then we've got like cards that can like utilize this sort of play style. So like the dragon travel and all that. So let's begin with Leftless Dragon Queen for 4 generic and all red. It is a legendary dragon with flying, 6/6. Whenever another non-token dragon enters the battlefield under your control, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. And then for 1 generic and a red, dragons you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Goldspan Dragon. For 3 generic and double red, it's a dragon with flying and haste, 4/4. And when it attacks or becomes target of a spell, create a treasure token. Treasures you control have tap sacrifice this artifact. Add 2 mana of any one color. Scourge of the Throne. For 4 generic and double red, it's a dragon with flying, 5/5 to throne, meaning that whenever this creature attacks the player with the most life or tied for the most life, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. And when Scourge of the Throne attacks the first time each turn, if it's attacking the player with the most life or tied for most life, untap all attacking creatures. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. So allow for more combat, allow for like more card draw and more permanents to be put onto the battlefield within a single turn. Scourge of Valkas for 2 generic and triple red. It's a dragon with flying, 4/4. When it or another dragon enters the battlefield under your control, it deals X damage to target creature or player, where X is the number of dragons you control. And then for red, you can give this creature +1/+0 until end of turn. Ojutai, Soul of Winter, 5 generic, a white and a blue for a legendary dragon. Flying Vigilance, 5/6. Whenever a dragon you control attacks, tap target non-land permanent and opponent controls. That permanent doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Hamrath Illustrious for 3 generic, a green, a white, and a blue. It's a legendary dragon with again flying, 6/6. Whenever another permanent enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top card of your library. If it shares a card type with that permanent, you may reveal that card and put it into your hand. Bladewing the Risen, 3 generic and double black and double red for a legendary creature. You know what it is, dragon, flying, 4/4. When it enters the battlefield, you may return target dragon permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. And then for black and a red, you can give dragon creatures +1/+1 until end of turn, and that's on all sides, I think. Intend the Dreamer, you know the deal, 3 generic, a blue, a red, and a green for legendary creature. Obviously, you know the creature type. Flying. When it deals combat damage to a player, you may pay 2 generic and a blue. If you do, exile the top card of your library face down. You may look at that card and for as long as it remains exiled, you may play it. You may play that card without paying its mana cost for as long as intent remains on the battlefield, 6/6. Obviously, legendary dragon. I'll just keep going with it. Atarka, World Renderer, I think. 5 generic, a red and a green for a legendary dragon, flying trample, 6/4. Whatever dragon you control attacks, it gains double strike until end of turn. Teneb, the Harvester, 3 generic, and black, a green, and a white for a legendary dragon, flying, 6/6. When it deals combat damage to a player, you may pay 2 generic and a black to put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control, so it doesn't have to be from your graveyard. It can be from anyone else's. Dramoka the Eternal for 3 generic, a green and white, so legendary dragon with flying, 5/5. Whenever a dragon you control attacks, bolster 2, meaning you choose the creature a creature with the least toughness among creatures you control and put 2 plus counters on it. Dragon Lord Dromoka for 4 generic green and white. It's a legendary Elder Dragon that can't be countered, has flying and lifelink. It's a 5/7, and it says your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. You draw the Hellkite, 6 generic and double red for a dragon with flying, 6/6 that creates a 6/6 red dragon creature token with flying. Each and every time a dragon you control attacks. Null Spine Dragon for 5 generic and double red. It's a dragon with flying, 7/5. And when it comes into play or enters the battlefield, I guess you could say you may discard your hand and draw cards equal to the damage dealt to target opponent this turn. Ramos Dragon Engine. Go check out my Ramos enchantments video. Doesn't seem to be getting a lot of views. Definitely a good commander. If you want to see me do like another video variant of like a Ramos commander, then let me know. That could be another thing you could do in the comment section if you're the first one. Just decide like what you want to see out of Ramos, I guess. Or if you want to see another version of a deck, like if you want to see me rebuild one of the many decks I have shown in like a certain way, you can do that. Or like custom commander or like regular commander. Like I said, if you're the first one, then you can do that. Just comment it while you're commenting for the video, and just comment anyways because I like feedback. And expect video. So 6 generic for a legendary artifact creature dragon flying 4/4. Whenever you cast a spell, put a plus counter on Realm's Dragon Engine for each of that spell's colors. And then you can remove 5 plus counters from Ramos to add double whites, double blue, double black, double red, and double green to your mana pool. However, you can only activate this ability only once each turn. And that is each turn, so you can activate that on other turns. Dragon Tempest for 1 generic and a red. It's an enchantment that states whenever a creature with flying enters the battlefield under your control, it gains haste until in the turn. Whenever a dragon enters the battlefield under your control, it deals X damage to target creature or player, or X is the number of dragons you control. And I think for now, that we're not in like synergies yet. So this would go down. Anyways, where were we? Oh yeah, Terror of the Peaks. For 3 generic and double red, it's a dragon with flying 5/4, and as an additional cost to cast spells, for your opponent to cast spells that target Terror of the Peaks, they have to pay an additional 3 life. And whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Terror of the Peaks deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. Thunderbreak Regent for 2 generic and double red is a dragon with flying 4/4, and whenever a dragon you control becomes target of a spell or ability on opponent controls, this creature deals 3 damage to that player. Old Gnawbone for 5 generic and double green is a legendary dragon. Flying 7/7. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, create them many treasure tokens. Cloth Unrivaled Ancient for 5 generic, a red and a green. It's a legendary dragon with flying and haste 4/4. And whenever it attacks, you add X mana in any combination of colors. Works as the total power of attacking creatures. Spend this mana only to cast spells until end of turn. You don't lose this mana as steps and phases end. So pretty nice. Skill Lord Reckoner for 3 generic and double whites. A dragon with flying 4/4. Whenever a dragon you control becomes the target of a spell or ability and opponent controls, destroy target non-land permanent that player controls. Punches your opponent for playing stuff against your dragons. Nesting Dragon for 3 generic and double red. It's a dragon with flying 5/4 landfall. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, create an 0/2 red dragon egg creature token with defender, and when this creature dies, create a 2/2 red dragon creature token with flying. And this creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Sunscorched Regent for 3 generic and double white. It's a dragon with flying 4/3, and it gets a +1/+0 crown put on itself and allows you to gain 1 life whenever an opponent casts a spell. Colligon, the Storm's Fury for 3 generic, a black and a red. It's a legendary dragon with flying 4/5 and dash of 3 generic, a black and red, meaning that you can cast a spell for its dash cost. If you do, it gains haste, but then it is returned to It's returned from the battlefield to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. And whenever a dragon you control attacks, creatures you control get +1/+1 until the turn. Immerstrom Predator. For 2 generic, a black and red, it's a vampire dragon with flying through 3. When it becomes tapped, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard and put a +1/+1 counter on it. And you can sacrifice another creature to this creature to give it indestructible and tap it. And Killmouth Dragon for 5 generic and double red, it's a dragon with amplify 3, meaning that you may reveal any number of dragons from your hand as this creature on its battlefield and put 3 +1/+ counters on it for each one revealed this way. Flying, and then you can tap it to have it deal damage equal to the number of +1/+ counters on it to target creature or player. Balefire Dragon for 5 generic and double red. It's a dragon with flying, and when it deals combat damage to a player, it deals that much damage to each creature that player controls. 6/6. Hellkite Charger for 4 generic and double red. It's a dragon with flying. 5/5, and whenever Hellkite Charger attacks, you may pay 5 generic and double red. If you do, untap all attacking creatures, and after this phase, there's an additional combat phase. Savage Ventmaw for 4 generic, a red and green, it's a dragon with flying. 4/4, and when it attacks, you add triple red and triple green to your mana pool, and until in a turn, that mana doesn't empty from your mana pool as steps and phases end. Wolfgar of Icewind Dale. I think we're now getting into the sort of value cards. Not yet. This is to go down here. So legendary creature, legendary human barbarian. He is melee. That can matter. So melee, I believe, is like whenever this creature attacks. I believe it gets +1/+1 for each opponent attack this turn by a creature. If I'm not correct, then please correct me in the comments down below. 4/4, if a creature so the melee doesn't matter. What really matters is the line of text that says if a creature you control attacking would cause a triggered ability of a opponent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. So that can really have a great effect. That doubles the number of permanents you're putting onto the battlefield, the air dragon, and the amount of cards you're drawing with him, and any other attack triggers. Anyways, back up here, we have Stormbreath Dragon for 3 generic and double red. It's a dragon with flying, haste, protection from light, meaning white cannot do anything about this at all whatsoever. 4/4. 5 generic and double red for monstrosity 3, meaning that if this creature isn't monstrous, you put 3 +1/+ counter on it, excuse me, and then it becomes monstrous. And when it becomes monstrous, it deals damage to each opponent equal to the number of cards in that player's hand. Eldra's Witherbloom for 5 generic, a black and a green. It's a legendary dragon, elder dragon, excuse me, flying. 4/4. At the beginning of each upkeep, create a 1/1 black and green pest creature token with when this creature dies, gain 1 life, pay 10 life, and you can untap all lands you control, activate only once each turn. So pretty nice. Allows you to probably play more dragons, so that way you're ready to go and attack with even more dragons next turn. Slumbering Dragon. For a singular red, it's a dragon with flying 3/3, and it can't attack or block unless it has 5 or more +1/+ counters on it. And whenever creature attacks your planeswalker you control, you get it to put a +1/+ counter on Slumbering Dragon. Mirroring Dragon for 3 generic and double red. It's a dragon with flying. 4/5. Excuse me. Whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell, that targets only Mirroring Dragon, the player copies that spell for each other creature he or she controls, and the spell could target, excuse me, and each copy targets a different one of those creatures. So if your opponent, targets this with a murder, then all their creatures also die. Or if you target this with something like a Seize the Day, then all of your creatures are going to be untapped and you're going to be getting a lot of combats. Anyways, we've already seen you. Crucible Fire, we haven't seen this. For 3 generic and a red, it's an enchantment that gives dragon creatures you control +3/+3. Kindred Charge for 4 generic and double red is a sorcery that has you choose a creature type, and then for each creature you control of the chosen type, you create a token that's a copy of that creature. And then those tokens gain haste and exile them, beginning the next end step. Waves of Aggression for 3 generic and double hybrid red-white sorcery. It is untap all creatures that attack this turn. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase followed by an additional main phase. Retrace. So the retrace is, so what retrace is like a card with retrace can be played from a graveyard if you're able to discard a land card and pay the additional cost, like the mana cost and like any other cost. So you can play this over and over again, as long as you have the lands to discard to it, which with you drawing so many cards, you probably will. Seize the Day. Hey, we were just talking about it. For 3 generic and a red, it's a source of untaps target creature. After this main phase, there's an additional combat phase followed by an additional main phase. Flashback of 2 generic and a red, meaning you may cast a spell from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then exile it. So you target this with mirroring, suddenly you're going to have a lot of combats, and that's going to be a lot more permanents that are going to be ending up on your battlefield at the end of the turn, thanks to the Air Dragon. Shared Animosity for 2 generic and a red is an enchantment that gives a creature you control +1/+0 until in time for each other creature that shares a creature type with it that's stacking. The official text says whenever a creature you control attacks, it gets +1/+0 until in a turn for each other attacking creature that shares a creature type with it. That should clear it up. Savage Beating, love it. 3 generic and double red for an instant that you can play only during your turn and only during combat. Choose one. Creatures you control gain double strike until in turn, or untap all creatures you control, and after this phase, there's an additional combat phase. But then there's the entwine cost of 1 generic and a red, meaning you can do both if you pay that cost. Reflections of Lutrajara for 4 generic and a blue. It's an enchantment that when it's battlefield, you choose a creature type, as Aaron's battlefield, excuse me, and whenever you cast a spell, the chosen type, copy that spell. And the copy becomes a copy of the spell, in case you didn't know, becomes the token. The reminder text is right there. Parametric God of Harvest for 3 generic, a green and white. It's a legendary enchantment creature god. Well, she is. Indestructible, 6/7. And as long as your devotion to green and white is less than 7, she isn't a creature. And whenever you cast a creature spell, you may search your library for a force or a plains card and put it on battlefield tapped. Now it doesn't say basic, so it can be a non-basic forced and or plains card. Then shuffle your library, obviously after your search. Dragon Throne of Tarkir for 4 generic. It's a legendary artifact equipment. Your creature as a defender, and for 2 generic, you can tap it, and other creatures you control get trample and +X/+X until in turn where X is this creature's power cost of 3 generic. So swing this onto a very powerful creature, and then use the ability, and then suddenly you're in the position to possibly end the game. Taiyam Ojutai Master for 2 generic, a white and a blue. It's a legendary. He is a legendary human monk, and he says instant sorcery and dragon spells you control can be countered by spells or abilities. 3/4, and whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand, if Taiyam Ojutai Master attack this turn, that spell gains rebound, meaning that you exile it as a result, and at the beginning of your next upkeep, you may cast a card from exile without paying its mana cost. Then we have the lands. I decided to have 5 more than usual, just because, like, dragons are expensive, and we're playing a lot of them in this deck, so never hurts. Windbrisk Heights for it's a land that has Hideaway, you know the deal, and it's battlefield tab. You look at the top 4, you exile one of them face down, and then put the rest on the bottom of your library. You can tap for a white, or you can for 1 light, you can tap Windbrisk Kites, and you may play the exile card without paying its mana cost if you attack with 3 or more creatures this turn, which will have most likely happened, with you putting permanents onto the battlefield that are most likely dragons. If not, other very powerful permanents or lands, you can do that because it doesn't have to be non-land. In case you were wondering. Anyway, Spine Rock Knoll, same thing, Hideaway. Taps to add a red, or for red you can tap, and you may play the exile card. You may play the exile card without paying its mana cost if an opponent was dealt 7 or more damage this turn. That'll be easy. Mossword Bridge, Hideaway, you know the deal. Taps for a green, or for green you can tap, and you may play the exile card without paying its mana cost if creatures you control have total power 10 or greater. No problem at all for dragons. Volrath Stronghold, it's a legendary land that can tap for a colorless, or it can put target creature card from your graveyard if you spend 1 generic and a black to tap it to do so. Then Gaia's Cradle, it's a legendary land that can tap for a green mana for each creature you control. And then we have 10 islands, 10 basic islands, I should add, 10 basic forests, 10 basic mountains, 10 basic swamps, 10 basic plains. And with that, all the end of this video starring the Dragon. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. We're at 15, 5 away from 20. Then we could do 20 so special. Woohoo! Don't forget, like I said, comments. First one to comment can decide what commander you want to see next, whether it's like custom or legit like this one. All that I require is that I can kind of find it, or else I can't do it. Or if you want to see like a commander like rebuilt sort of like in a different way, like how I did with Rambless enchantments, like, oh, I want Rambless creatures. Well, if you're the first one, then you can ask for that. Excuse me. Hit the notification bell that way you don't miss more of this content that you've been watching so far. Keep viewing other videos. I'd like to see the view count going up, and stay away from the dislike button. Keep up with the feedback in general. I do not discourage it, and I do not wish to discourage you. Please subscribe, obviously. I already told you that. Share this video with others, and others you may not know of. I do not care. I just want this to spread. But I mean, probably do share it with others you know of, because it's difficult. Anyways, I think that's it. And yeah, see you guys later.